and we dubbed it our white whale. I will ask you, can you ring the magic beer bell? I think it's the same one. From what I know.
You caught the white whale. I caught like a different wild beer that I wasn't able to find before.
Different wild roaming beer. I wonder if this had something to do with not closing our Halloween beer brackets.
So wait, maybe he can help us with finding the fifth beer element.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Beer Brackets of the Month, episode number 9. Alessandro, we're coming up close on 10. I have a feeling something special is going to happen at 10, but alas, we are at number 9. And man, the last Beer Bracket of the Month episode was amazing. The beers that we drank that episode, my friend, I'm still dreaming about.
Yep, me too, man. Like, they were just one better than the other.
Just one better than the other. I still can taste that Guinness chocolate mint stout in my dreams. I still dream about it, man.
We'll make it happen, my friend. We'll make it happen.
It was a pretty special episode. We found the white whale. A whole bunch of great stuff happened. Well, you know what? I'm kind of thirsty today, my friend. So I'm not going to wait too long to get this episode going. I will let you begin because you hinted before we started recording that you have something pretty amazing to show me. And anytime Alessandro says that he has a pretty amazing beer to show, it never disappoints. On this glorious day, what are you opening your beer brackets with?
So, my friend, I'm incredibly excited for this.
I can't wait.
I was planning on starting with something else.
Okay.
But then
you changed your plans.
It. I did. It's almost like a little white whale that I didn't know I was searching for.
What?
But I found it somehow.
You found an unknown white whale?
Yes, one that I didn't even know I was searching for. But once I saw it, I knew I had been looking for it for quite a while.
Was it a whale in captivity?
Maybe. It's a wild, elusive whale. And I'll explain. Look, so the beer I'm opening with is the Birra Nazionale from Baladin Brewery.
Oh my God.
Which we have talked about before off the channel. But the cool thing that I think you might remember is that this brewery, it's very close to where I grew up. Very close to Torino, and it's close to a bigger city called like Cuneo. But this brewery it's been around for quite a while. They started in 1986. And the gentleman that started this brewery, his name is Teo Musso, and he is absolutely amazing. Like, he's been featured in Michael Jackson's books. He's been visited by Michael Jackson. He's created like some amazing beers that in Italy, it's a wine country. He started the brewery when all around him were just like making wine, have been making wine for centuries and decades.
He was the one rogue Italian making beer.
Yeah. And he's like, had always this like super great approach about, sustainability and importance of the land. And all the beers that they make are absolutely amazing. So I saw this one, which is started in 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's an ale. It's called Birra Nazionale, which means national beer. And it's made with 100% Italian ingredients. Malt, barley grown in their fields.
That's
hops
amazing.
Grown in Italy. It uses spices too, and if I'm not mistaken, on the website it says coriander and orange peel. Yeah, I'm super excited. I saw it. I had it a few times in Italy, and I just couldn't resist. I had to have it here tonight with you. What are you opening your beer with?
Well, before we get to that, you can't just go to my opening beer bracket right now. There's so much to unpack with that, man. Because, first of all, they're using local ingredients. That means that those ingredients are coming straight from where you grew up, the land on which Alessandro was born and raised and reared. Those ingredients for that beer are coming straight from that land. which is amazing. And I've had their, I believe it's called the Rock and Roll. That was the picture that I sent you, which is they call it a pale ale from what I remember. Very fruity, very spicy. It's interesting that you mentioned the spice. And I was at a restaurant with my wife right before our baby was born, and with this amazing Italian restaurant in Hamilton here where we're living. And they had that beer on the menu, and I sent Alessandro a picture of it right away, and he was like, "Oh, I know they're from Torino. I know them. That is so cool that you're able to find another one of their beers, and that's an amazing story. Ingredients from the homeland. It's full circle, man. Your life is coming full circle right here. Well, my opening beer bracket, it's not quite the homeland. It's somebody's homeland, but it's a homeland that hasn't been featured on the channel yet, and because we have not talked about a beer from this country yet, Alessandro, so it is a first. It is a first. And
I like first.
The fantastic beer that I am opening my beer brackets with is from the wonderful country of Poland, and it is the Tyskie. I love this beer. I tried it once. I saw it randomly in the liquor store at the LCBO here, and I picked it up. I didn't know what to expect. I did a little bit of research on it like I do when I'm shopping for new beers and trying new beers, and it blew me away. It's very malty, but it's sweet at the same time in a very balanced, really refreshing, nice way. Alessandro, this brewery is actually one of the oldest breweries in Europe, which I had no idea. So the beer has been produced in Tyskie, which is, I'm sure I'm butchering that, that's the name of the town and where the name comes from, Tyskie. Continuously, they've been brewing for almost 400 years, which is insane. It's one of the leading brands in Poland. They take about 18%, they say, of the Polish beer market. And you see on the label here, there's a little crown. So that's to commemorate John Sobieski III, the King of Poland, who was born in 1629. In the same year, the family von Promens established a brewery in the town of Tyskie. So, oh my, does this beer and does this brewery have some history? My friend, we have been beerless for way too long.
Woo, I'm so excited. Great selection, by the way. I've had that.
Thank you.
Not many times, and I agree with you. It's fantastic beer.
It is. So I can't wait to hear about that one that you've got there, man, because like I said, their rock and roll that I had, it was so spicy. And when I say spicy, I don't mean hot spicy. I mean just like herbal spicy. Oh, little beer ASMR.
Oh, I can't tell you how much this brings me home. Well, first of all, look at this color.
Can you smell the homeland?
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. But what amazes me is that it's an ale, but it's so clear. I mean, if you would show me this glass and tell me that this is an ale, I would say, no, that's a lager. It doesn't, 100%.
That's a lager or a pilsner. There's no way that's an ale, right?
Yeah, it's but the aroma, man, like it has, tell me. I don't know how to, and it's probably just because it reminds me of drinking it there, but there's something about the malt character that it just, to me, it identifies it more with beers from Italy than anything else.
Okay.
You can definitely tell that there's spices like orange peel for sure. I don't think I can pick up the coriander, but the orange peel, like I can definitely tell that it's there. It's almost like it has a little bit of pilsner kind of like a herbal note to it. So I can see what you're saying in the rock and roll that I don't think I've had. But I can see they use those hops like in a very masterful way.
In a very unique way. This beer is so good. I read a lot of reviews. I was curious. Whenever I try new beer, I go and I read reviews right away. I want to see what people think about it and how people describe it. I'm a beer nerd in that sense where I always want to know. And people were everybody agrees that this is like a very solid lager, but it seems like scores were somewhere in the middle ground. People weren't scoring it very, very high or very low. I think this is such a delicious lager. It's so unique, and it has a character to it like that I haven't come across before. And I haven't tried every beer in the world. I'm sure there are other beers that do mimic this in some ways, but like I mentioned, there's a sweetness to it. The maltiness is almost so strong that it becomes sweet. But you know how we've talked about this before, like the cheap beer finisher malt liquor?
Yeah.
How it's so malty that it's sweet, it's just unbalanced. This does that right, where it's overly malty to the point where it's sweet, but it's still really subtle and really crisp. And it's really highly carbonated. It's got this amazing effervescent mouthfeel. It's a really refreshing, flavorful beer. The only thing I'll say is the aroma is a little lacking. You get a little bit of hop, a little bit of maltiness, but it's very subdued. It's all about the taste. You don't expect the taste to be as strong as it is after the aroma. What about you, man? How does that one taste?
Oh, this one here, I almost find like the mouthfeel on this, like, and this is probably the note that like really stands out compared to everything else. It almost has like a creamy feeling, almost like you would find in a wheat beer, but it's 100% barley, and that's
so does
like
this one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like how you describe like the finish on yours. Like this one here has that seemed like almost like crisp bite at the end that doesn't leave too much, but it's super pleasant. Like it just makes you want to go back in the glass and take another sip.
Yeah.
A little bit of sweetness. The herbal hops notes that I'm getting, they're kind of difficult to pinpoint, but that orange peel like plays very well with them. It's just incredibly refreshing. And I know I'm partial on this, but it just reminds me of home. Like it's just like it's just so good.
They love playing with that citrus element and balancing with the spices. Their beers are so bold. They're so strong and present. I love them. I've only tried the rock and roll, but oh my god, it's delicious.
Am I crazy, or is that a white whale?
That looks like a white whale. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you a beer spirit too?
Interesting.
Does that happen often?
Well, that's amazing. Can you help us find the next one? Because we have like no idea where to go from here.
Okay, everyone keeps saying this. Like it's just like everybody keeps saying this every time. Like
everyone does. Can you give us a hint? Anything at all?
Yeah, just a tiny hint.
A little something.
Tiny one.
We've done so much. We've summoned the dead. We've tried so many different beers. We've reviewed Coors Light. We've done so much. You just give us a hint.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And Budweiser.
Yep. Okay, so we got to think about what we did last time. I don't know, like, do you remember what we did last time?
We rang the beer bell. That's what we did last time.
Yes.
We rang that beer bell.
You're right. I had completely forgot about that. Wait a moment. Yeah, I have it right here.
I think we should ring the bell, man.
I'll take a last sip and I'll move this beer because I don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah, we need to protect these beers.
Exactly. Protect them. All right.
Okay. So
beer bell.
I'm excited. Every time we ring this beer bell, something great happens. I don't know why we don't do it more often. We should just be ringing the beer bell all day.
I agree. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. Oh, look! I got a beer!
I got a beer too. Did you get an IPA? I got an IPA.
Yes, but
that's interesting. That's
a great IPA that I got here.
This is a pretty good IPA too. I mean, we're not the biggest IPA drinkers, but this is a good one. This is one of my favorites. The Beer Bell's done it again, man. It's gifted us with these wonderful beers. What did you get? Tell me.
I didn't even know that such thing existed. So do you remember that Trappist brewery that
the American Trappist
brought on
brewery?
The show for the Christmas episode, the Spencer?
Spencer, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently there's this beer called Monk's India Pale Ale.
What? Monk's?
So it's a Trappist IPA.
Wait. Stop. A Trappist IPA?
It's right here. Look at that.
Leave it to American monks to brew a Trappist IPA. That blows my mind. The monks have dipped into the world of IPAs. You have another wizard beer.
It's what a wizard beer. See, this is something I would have never expected to see. A Trappist IPA.
A wizard making an IPA. This is new territory for us, man. We've never dived into a Trappist IPA before.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. I feel kind of scared.
So I got something from this amazing brewery. This is so funny. It's called Beau's. And Beau's is a really, really awesome brewery. Their stuff can't be found worldwide. From what I understand, it's only available in Canada, in Ontario, and in Quebec. This brewery is actually a 50-minute drive east of Ottawa, the capital, the nation's capital here. So it's this little town called Van Cleek Hill. Ontario, this brewery's based out of. So it was launched back in 2006, so it's not that old of a brewery. And they're actually known for a lager of theirs. It's called Lug Tread. And it's a really, really, really amazing lagered ale that they make, a really flavorful lager that you can get anywhere here in Ontario and in Quebec. And they make this full-time IPA. The can is just so cool. Like the logo, the graphics on it are amazing. Their branding is always really on point. Their branding is always really farm focused. Like they have this tractor logo as well. And they have this great brewery that you can go visit, and it's out on a farm, and it's a really, really, really cool spot. I love this IPA. Again, we're not big IPA drinkers, but this one's nice and fruity. It's hoppy. It's really well balanced. It's flavorful. It's got a good body to it. Friend, let's crack these open.
Let's do it. I can't wait to try this one here.
I can't wait to hear about that one.
One thing that I noticed is that it doesn't have the authentic Trappist.
It doesn't have the authentic Trappist product logo.
No, but I do have an answer for this, surprisingly enough. Because when I was researching for the holiday beer, I noticed that on their website they have a few beers that don't have that. So I'd reached out to them and I was like, hey, like I thought like all the beers had to be, you know.
You did your homework. You reached out.
I did my homework, and they answered.
How did you call the wizards? Did you like stick your head out the window and do a wizard call? Wizards.
Yes.
Wizards.
No, I obviously used my beer palantir that I have here with me.
That's for you, Nate. Thanks for that. That was fantastic. That was one of the best comments we've got in a long time.
So using my beer palantir here, I reached out and I spoke to them. They told me that apparently it's not enough to be Trappist monks and brew beer on the Abbey ground and all of that. If you want that logo on your product, on top of being, you know, approved, okay, yeah, you can brew the beer, you have to take the beer to Belgium.
What?
And sit on a panel with all the other Trappist brewery, and it has to be approved to get that logo.
No.
Yes, sir.
So they would have to fly or transport this IPA because they're wizards. I mean, who are we kidding here? They're transporting it. So they're just magically making it appear in Belgium. And then they have to sit on a wizard tribunal, and they have to have all the wizards sip the beer, judge it, and approve whether it gets the certification.
Yep. This like makes the perfect sense. Like I imagine this, like, you know, there's all those wizards coming in on their horses, like or flying, like you said, who knows, or appearing and sitting on this panel with the beer in the center.
All three. I think they're flying, appearing, and coming in on horses all at once. Oh man. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Let me know what you think.
Wow.
The Wizard Tribunal. I can't get over it. Tell me about it. I'm dying to hear.
Man, like the nose is... I don't think I've ever smelled an IPA this like this. Like, honestly. You can tell they probably use, like, I would think American hops. And it says right here, like Citra, Mosaic, Amarillo, and Simcoe hops. Yeah. So it definitely has a little bit of that classic, like, American IPA style.
Yeah.
But here's the big but. It's a lot of subtleties, and you can smell some of those like yeast components, estery components, or at least I think that's what I smell, that are coming through. Earthy undertones and
very earthy.
It has like a very gentle subtleness to those hops. They're not in your face, so I actually kind of like that. It's the aroma. It's gentle. Mm-hmm. What about you, my friend?
Yeah, this IPA is actually fantastic. I love it because it's hoppy, but it's not overly hoppy, and that's a common thread that we always talk about when it comes to IPAs that we like. Take a big sip. We're going to talk about it. It's very roasty at the same time, which I really love. IPA, that sort of bitterness hit in the back of your throat, but the taste of the hops don't linger for too long on the finish. Instead, what you get is kind of like the roastiness of a really nice lager, which I really, really love. That's why this one's always been kind of a go-to of mine. I find it's a little bit of a mix. It's almost like a very light pale ale in that sense. Like hoppier than a pale ale, a little bit more citrusy than a pale ale, but it's more in the pale ale family than necessarily a full-on IPA, which and that's not to knock it. I know IPA lovers out there are probably really fuming at that and going, oh, that sounds terrible, but it's delicious. I mean, it's an IPA for a reason. Don't get me wrong. It has all those characteristics. But what I mean to say is it's a little bit more roasty like a pale ale would be. I mean, you get a little bit of, let's say, the zest, like an orange or lemon zest, like that strong bitterness of a citrus zest. And then on the finish, it's very subtle. Everything comes together, like the roasted element combined with a little bit of hops, a little bit of citrus, and it just balances out so well. It's nicely carbonated, but just enough that gives it a really silky, kind of creamy mouth feel. You can actually see the head is really pillowy and cloudy. Just like a cloud that a wizard would ride in on. Right there.
Well said. Well said,
Well said.
friend.
Well said. Oh, how's the finish on that beer? Is it really present? Does it linger?
It is, but again, like what I like about it is obviously it's an IPA, so the hops are there, but it's not the only thing you are tasting, in my opinion. You get the malt, you get those esters, like almost like spice notes coming through. They're incredibly balanced. In a lot of IPAs, that's one of the reasons why a lot of times, like obviously they're about the hops. But they get like a little bit too much in your face.
They do. Yeah.
What I like about this is that it has that, but just in the right amount. And it finishes incredibly refreshing and easy drinking. And I didn't look at the percentage here. I guess that's always important with those wizards. You never know. 6.3.
See, they sneak in the percentage a lot of times, those wizards. I was expecting you to say like 14.5%.
Yeah. I guess like it's a light drink.
It is. For an IPA that's actually like on the lighter side, which I'm impressed with. None of those wizards can control themselves usually.
Yeah. Wizardry.
I don't know about you. This has been quite the beer brackets of the month. We discovered that we unlocked the first beer element, water. We're on our way, man. We're on a journey. It's been a journey. Like I mentioned, that little whale guy. Look at the journey we've been on for the past year and 2 months or 3 months. The beers that we've reviewed, the beer styles that we've broken down and analyzed, the can versus bottles that we've done to try and just plow our way through the beer universe and forge some kind of path through to our final goal. Cheers, my friend. It's always a pleasure to open and close beer brackets with you. Always such a pleasure. And cheers to that Wizard Tribunal. I wish the minute we're done filming, I'm going onto Google to see if I can find a picture of a Wizard Tribunal.
Right?
They probably don't allow cameras in there, I would imagine. It's probably kind of like when they're choosing a new pope, it's all closed off and like they light the fireplace so the smoke comes out of the chimney when they've made a decision. I'd imagine it's something similar.
I have a feeling that it's probably something along those lines. Like it's at least that's how I imagine it. They didn't say too much. They didn't want to give too many details.
I'm sure they did. Very secretive, those wizards. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Hopefully you had a beer along with us. Open and close your brackets. Let us know down below. What did you have? What are you drinking along with us? Hopefully you gotta have two. Can't leave those beer brackets open. Gotta close them.
Never forget to close them. Never forget.
Never forget. Cheers, everybody.